Dan Marino, 17 seasons, 1983 to 1999. Dan Marino is the name that always comes up when talking about the greatest quarterbacks to never win a Super Bowl. In just his second season, Marino shattered records. 5,084 yards and 48 touchdowns. Numbers unheard of in 1984. He carried the Dolphins all the way to Super Bowl 19, setting up a dream matchup against Joe Montana. Marino threw for 318 yards and a touchdown, but Montana and the 49ers were unstoppable, rolling to a 38-16 win. Shockingly, that would be Marino's only trip to the big game. Despite retiring as the NFL's all-time passing leader and redefining the modern quarterback position, the Super Bowl always eluded him. For all his greatness, Marino's career is a reminder that football glory requires more than just a legendary arm. Barry Sanders. 10 seasons, 1989 to 1998. Barry Sanders was pure magic every time he touched the ball. In 10 seasons with the Lions, he rushed for over 15,000 yards, dazzling with ankle-breaking cuts and runs that seemed impossible. His best shot at a ring came in 1991, when Detroit crushed Dallas to earn a spot in the NFC title game. But Washington's defense smothered Sanders, holding him to just 59 yards in a blowout. 2 years later, Sanders had 169 rushing yards in a playoff game against Green Bay, but a late touchdown sealed Detroit's fate. Despite his brilliance, Sanders never came close to a Super Bowl. He retired shockingly early, still in his prime, leaving fans to wonder what might have been. In many ways, his career is as famous for what he didn't have, playoff success, as for his jaw-dropping runs. Tony Gonzalez played 17 years from 1997 to 2013. Tony Gonzalez redefined the tight end position. With over 15,000 receiving yards and 111 touchdowns, he retired as the most prolific tight end in NFL history. But for most of his career in Kansas City, postseason success was non-existent. It wasn't until his 16th season with Atlanta that Gonzalez finally earned a playoff win. In that 2012 divisional game against San Francisco, Gonzalez scored a 10-yard touchdown that seemed like the dagger. But the Falcons blew the lead, and Frank Gore's 2 touchdowns sent the 49ers to the Super Bowl instead. Gonzalez retired a year later without a ring. His career proves that sometimes even all-time greatness can overcome bad luck and missed opportunities. Larry Fitzgerald played 17 years from 2004 to 2020. Few players have ever dominated a postseason like Larry Fitzgerald in 2008. He carried the Arizona Cardinals to Super Bowl 43 and nearly pulled off the upset against Pittsburgh. After being bottled up for 3 quarters, Fitzgerald exploded in the 4th, including a breathtaking 64-yard touchdown that put the Cardinals ahead with under 3 minutes to play. But Fitzgerald never got to celebrate. The Steelers drove down the field and Santonio Holmes scored one of the greatest touchdowns in Super Bowl history. The Cardinals lost 27-23. Fitzgerald finished with 127 yards and 2 scores, but no ring. Despite his legendary career, over 17,000 yards and a reputation as one of football's classiest players, the Lombardi Trophy always stayed just out of reach. Fran Tarkenton played 18 years from 1961 to 1978. Fran Tarkenton was the NFL's career passing leader before Marino, and he made it to 3 Super Bowls with the Minnesota Vikings. But each time, he ran into history's greatest teams. In Super Bowl IX, Tarkenton faced the Steel Curtain. Pittsburgh's defense held the Vikings to just 121 total yards in a 16-6 loss. Tarkenton was known for his scrambling, improvisation, and competitive fire. But even with all his talent, the Vikings could never break through. They lost all 3 of his Super Bowl appearances, leaving Tarkenton as one of the greatest quarterbacks never to hoist the Lombardi. His legacy, though, is secure. He helped revolutionize the position and paved the way for the mobile quarterbacks of today. Eric Dickerson played 11 years from 1983 to 1993. Eric Dickerson's running style was poetry in motion. With his upright stride and blazing speed, he was nearly impossible to catch. In 1984, he set the single-season rushing record with 2,105 yards, a record that still stands. But success in January was harder to come by. In 1985, Dickerson ran wild against Dallas in the divisional round, racking up 248 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the next week, his Rams ran into the '85 Bears, the most dominant defense in NFL history. Chicago crushed Los Angeles 24-0 in the NFC Championship. For Dickerson, that was as close as he'd get. He retired with over 13,000 rushing yards, but no ring to show for it. J.J. Watt played 12 years from 2011 to 2022. J.J. Watt was the face of the Houston Texans and one of the most feared defenders of his era. A three-time Defensive Player of the Year, Watt wrecked game plans with his mix of strength, speed, and relentless motor. But playoff glory never came. His best chance was in 2012 when the Texans reached the divisional round. They hung with Tom Brady and the Patriots for a while, but New England pulled away 41-28. Watt had dominant seasons, highlight plays, and even a knack for catching touchdowns on offense, but never the chance to play on football's biggest stage. He retired as a future Hall of Famer, but like many all-time greats, missing a Super Bowl is the one hole in his resume. Cris Carter played 16 years from 1987 to 2002. Cris Carter's hands were legendary. If it was near him, he caught it. With 130 touchdowns and over 13,000 yards, he became one of the league's most consistent receivers. His best shot at a title came in 1998, when his Vikings went 15-1 and had one of the most explosive offenses ever. In the NFC Championship, Minnesota led Atlanta 20-7, but the Falcons stormed back. A missed field goal in the final minutes left the door open, and the Vikings were stunned in overtime. Carter never got closer to a Super Bowl again. His legacy is undeniable. One of the greatest receivers ever, but he'll always be remembered as part of the best team never to win it all. Junior Seau played 20 years from 2000 to 2009. Junior Seau was the heartbeat of every defense he played on. Over 20 seasons, he earned 12 Pro Bowls, 56 sacks, and 18 interceptions. With the Chargers, he reached Super Bowl 29, but San Francisco's juggernaut offense rolled to a 49-26 win. Years later, Seau joined the undefeated 2007 Patriots and came within a breath of redemption. But Eli Manning and the Giants pulled off one of the biggest upsets in history in Super Bowl 42. Seau gave everything to the game, but the ring never came. His tragic death in 2012 cut short a remarkable life, but his Hall of Fame induction in 2015 immortalized his place among the greats. Terrell Owens played 16 years from 1996 to 2010. Terrell Owens was electric. With nearly 16,000 yards and 153 touchdowns, his production was undeniable. But he was also one of the most polarizing players in NFL history, known as much for his celebrations and clashes as for his brilliance. His lone Super Bowl appearance came with Philadelphia in Super Bowl 39. Playing on a broken leg, Owens still caught 9 passes for 122 yards, willing the Eagles to stay in the fight against the Patriots. But New England won 24-21. Despite his numbers, Owens never got another chance at a title. He remains one of the best wideouts ever, a Hall of Famer whose fiery personality sometimes overshadowed his greatness, but whose determination on the biggest stage proved he belonged with the legends. So what did you think of our list of Hall of Fame NFL players to never win a Super Bowl? Is there anyone we should have included? Leave a comment and let us know. If you like this video, click the like button and subscribe for more football videos. See you in the next one.